Christians have arguments for Christianity, and they seem strong, but the same could be said for atheists, Muslims, and many others. They also have arguments that seem strong to them, and so we know that people can be very educated and very confident in their beliefs, but some of them must be wrong because everyone can't be right. What if that's us? What if we're the ones who think we are right but are actually wrong? In order to really understand this, we have to understand how to think about disagreement. But stick with me because we will use this knowledge to get closer to the answer. Let's say you and I disagree about the day World War II ended. So we both try to defend our date, but it doesn't get us anywhere. What do we do now? Well, at this point, we'd probably come up with reasons why the disagreement is happening. For this video, I'm going to call them explainers. Some explainers would be these. You do not have all the evidence that I have. Okay, like maybe I know things about World War II that you don't know. Or perhaps you do not have enough training to properly interpret the evidence. Maybe you are a historian who specializes in World War II, but I'm not, and so that's your explainer. When people disagree over politics or religion, maybe our explainer is that you're too biased. You were raised in a religious home. You were hurt by people who believe the evidence, so you don't want anything to do with it. Notice that these explainers are not reasons for why something is true or false. They are reasons for why people believe something is true or false. They are basically ways to help us maintain our own beliefs when the others disagree with us. When it comes to Christians struggling with their faith because of disagreement, we must remember that this challenge is not just a Christian problem. Anybody with a viewpoint on religion is faced with disagreement. So you have Thomas Nagel, an atheist professor. He said, I want atheism to be true, and I am made uneasy by the fact that some of the most intelligent and well-informed people I know are religious believers. Maybe you've heard it said that Christians believe because they were born in a Christian home, or because religion is a crutch for life to calm their fear of death. We could easily turn that around and say that atheism is a comfort for people who want to be in control of their life and don't want to be responsible to God. These explainers may be true for an individual, but it's hard to say that they are true for everyone out there who disagrees with my religious viewpoint. When you have different religious viewpoints, which have been debated for centuries by educated people on both sides, our list of explainers gets really short. And that's concerning. There is always at least one explainer, but it's a last resort explainer. It is this. The truth behind our subject is too hard or complicated for the human mind to figure out, even when people think it's possible. This explains the existence of our disagreement, but it is a last resort explainer because it forces us to not know the answer, even when we think we are right. So when it comes to religious disagreement, if all we have is a last resort explainer, do we have to take it? Imagine this. Let's say you are a chemist. During your time studying chemistry, you come to believe that water is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. But let's say that there are other chemists just as smart and qualified as you who disagree. You are deeply confused by their thinking, but the only explainer you can think of is the last resort explainer. Are you forced to conclude that you don't know what water is made of? Not necessarily, but you are confronted with an important question. You have to ask yourself, which is easier for me to say? I don't know why these people disagree with me, or I don't know what water is made of. With nowhere else to go, you are not immediately forced to submit to the last resort explainer and not know what water is made of. You could also deny the last resort explainer and not know why there is disagreement. So when it comes to Christianity, you may be in a place where you are very confident that Christianity is true, but you're troubled by the fact that a lot of other smart people disagree with you. However, it might be easier for you to live with that tension than to become undecided about religion when the reasons for Christianity seem so much better. But there's still a problem. If we go back to the chemistry illustration, you may continue believing that water is H2O when people disagree, but perhaps you feel forced to hold that belief with low confidence. If we Christians conclude that the only feasible option for us is to believe Christianity with low-level confidence, well, then we conclude something which contradicts the Bible, the very foundation for any amount of Christian belief. Romans 1 says that God has clearly revealed himself through what he has made. Luke 16 teaches God has given us good reasons to believe. Paul explains how God gives us confidence. The Bible cannot be completely true if these verses are not true. If it is not possible to hold Christianity with confidence, it will be very difficult to hold Christianity at all. I'm not saying that true followers of Jesus never experience doubt. I'm saying Christians don't have to and shouldn't settle on doubt about the core beliefs of the Christian faith. The good news for Christians is that confident faith is possible, even with the existence of disagreement. The reason is simple. There are explainers for disagreement that are unique to Christianity. As Christians, we have these explainers, but they are unavailable for those outside of Christianity to flip back against us. 2 explainers come to mind. That will be the subject of next week's video. Until then, you can look up my video on so-called higher order evidence, which explains a little more about the purpose of explainers. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.